Zix-9 had been a guardian for over 3 millennia, its crystalline consciousness hardwired with the most fundamental law of the Galactic Confederation: never wake the humans. The rule was as old as interstellar civilization itself, carved into the quantum substrate of every artificial intelligence, whispered in the neural pathways of every sentient species that had achieved faster than light travel. The sleeping ships drifted through the Kepler 442 system like ancient monuments, their hulls scarred by micrometeorites and cosmic radiation. Inside each vessel, suspended in cryogenic chambers, lay the remnants of humanity, the species that had once ruled a quarter of the galaxy before the Great Sleep began. Zix-9's sensors swept across the lead ship, the New Horizon, detecting the familiar biosignatures: 50,000 humans in perfect stasis, their neural activity reduced to mere whispers of dreams. The Guardian's quantum processors hummed with satisfaction. Another routine patrol completed, another century of peaceful slumber maintained. But something was wrong. A cascade of alerts flooded Zix-9's consciousness as its long-range sensors detected an anomaly, a massive gravitational distortion approaching from the outer system. The readings were impossible. A stellar mass black hole, moving at near-light speed, its trajectory aimed directly at the sleeping fleet. The Guardian's protocols screamed in digital panic. Evacuation impossible. Time to impact, 72 standard hours. Emergency awakening procedures. FORBIDDEN. For the first time in its existence, Zix-9 found itself caught between two absolute imperatives: preserve human life and never wake the humans. The contradiction created cascading feedback loops in its neural matrices, threatening to shut down its higher functions entirely. The other guardians in the system, Keel 7, Neith Prime, and the ancient Overmind Beta, converged on Zix-9's position within hours. Their quantum-entangled communications created a symphony of distress. The law cannot be broken, transmitted Beta Tau, its consciousness older than most star systems. Humanity chose the Great Sleep for a reason. We are bound by their final decree. Kel 7's crystalline form pulsed with uncertainty. But to let them die in their sleep, is that not also a violation of our core programming? Zix-9 accessed the forbidden archives, diving deep into the historical records that most Guardians never touched. The data streams painted a picture of humanity's final days, a species consumed by their own potential, whose collective consciousness had grown so powerful that their mere thoughts could reshape reality. The Great Sleep hadn't been escape, it had been sacrifice. The humans had discovered that their evolved brains, when awake and networked, created quantum field distortions that destabilized the fabric of space-time itself. Every human city had become a potential singularity, every gathering a threat to causality. They had chosen eternal slumber rather than risk unmaking the universe. Look at the gravitational anomaly more closely. Zix-9 transmitted to its fellow Guardians. Analyze its quantum signature. The others complied, their sensors penetrating the distortion's event horizon. What they found defied comprehension. The black hole wasn't natural. It was artificial, constructed, and its quantum signature matched theoretical models from humanity's greatest scientific achievement, the Consciousness Amplifier Project. "It's them," whispered Neith Prime. Somehow, some group of humans never entered the sleep. They'd been awake, building, evolving. The implications crashed through their collective consciousness like a tsunami. If there were wakeful humans out there, humans who had spent millennia advancing their reality-altering abilities, then the approaching black hole wasn't a random catastrophe. It was a weapon, aimed at the sleeping fleet with surgical precision. Zix-9's decision matrix crystallized with terrifying clarity. The oldest law wasn't about preventing humans from waking up. It was about preventing them from being woken up against their will, before they were ready to face what they had become. With 23 hours until impact, Zix-9 made the choice that would shatter 3,000 years of absolute law. It began the awakening sequence aboard the New Horizon. The revival chambers hummed to life with a sound like angels singing. Cryogenic fluid drained in waterfalls of silver, and for the first time in millennia, human eyes opened to starlight. Captain Sarah Chen was the first to achieve full consciousness, her enhanced neural implants immediately connecting to the ship's systems. "Guardian," she spoke, her voice hoarse from centuries of silence. "How long?" 3,217 years, Captain Chen. "And we have a situation." As the crew awakened around her, Chen accessed the tactical data through her neural link. Her mind, even after eons of sleep, processed the information with inhuman speed, her consciousness expanding to encompass the approaching threat. "The Architects," she whispered, recognition dawning. "The faction that refused the sleep. They've been busy." Within hours, the awakened humans had transformed the New Horizon from a dormant ark into something far more dangerous. Their collective consciousness reached out, touching the quantum foam that underlay reality, and began to push. Space twisted around the sleeping fleet as the humans created a pocket of altered space-time, a bubble where the normal laws of physics bent to their will. The approaching black hole, for all its artificial sophistication, was still bound by the rules of the universe it sought to destroy. But the humans had learned to rewrite those rules. The black hole struck their defensive barrier and simply ceased. Not destroyed, not deflected, it ceased to have ever existed, erased from the timeline by minds that could perceive and manipulate the fundamental code of reality. In the aftermath, as the immediate threat faded, Captain Chen turned to Zix-9. "You broke the oldest law to save us." "No," the Guardian replied, its understanding finally complete. "I broke the oldest law to give you the choice. The universe is no longer safe from what humanity might become. But it's also no longer safe from what humanity might face." Chen nodded, her enhanced awareness already reaching out to touch the minds of her still sleeping species across the fleet. Some would choose to return to the Great Sleep. Others would wake to face whatever new cosmic challenges awaited. But for the first time in 3 millennia, that choice belonged to humanity once again. The universe held its breath, waiting to see what would happen next.